It's okay to have fun again, to give the people what they really want to hear, and not treat them like a sea of mindless followers who have no choice in their radio entertainment. Welcome to the Rick and Bubba Show.
It is 7.5 minutes past the hour. As promised, joining us as he makes his way again across the country, the funniest man in America. He is the gold standard. Ladies and gentlemen, James Gregory. James,
good morning.
Welcome back, brother.
It is so good to be here.
James,
always good to be here.
It is our honor to host you again.
It's my pleasure, I guarantee you.
We have had some of the funniest moments when you have been on this show, and occasionally a meeting after you've left.
Right,
But
right.
for the most part, some of the funnious moments we've ever had on the show have been when you've been behind that mic.
Right.
Well, I wish I could have stayed for the meetings.
Right.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah, you've brought us closer with people. You've brought us not so close to some old friends. But we did get our cell phone taken away one time. But other than that, it's been quite a run. James?
Well, yeah, that's what makes live entertainment, live radio so interesting.
Yeah, I think my favorite moment in James Gregory history would be just all of us were tearing apart a turkey that was deep fried here on the program. The whole turkey was here. And
With a hunting knife.
Yeah.
We were just digging into it like wild animals.
We were wild animals.
Yes, we were.
Oh, it was good.
And we
too.
became so relaxed that James made a comment or two, and I said, James, you realize we're on there? And he says, we better not.
I haven't seen him so surprised till that time that Vinny went to sleep. You know what I mean?
That wasn't good.
That wasn't on the radio show. But, that's a compliment to you guys and the way you run the deal here, I think that's how come, you're on the air and you're on the air so long and the people love you so much. You can forget that you're actually doing a live radio broadcast.
Yeah.
It's just like
hanging out.
Hanging out. And that's what makes it so great. So if anything goes wrong, it's your fault, not mine.
Right. Yeah. Well, and you've always your humor plays right into that. Talking about one of the great American pastimes, and that is family and friends just hanging out.
Oh yeah.
And
We don't have enough of that anymore, I don't think.
socializing.
Yeah.
Fellowship.
Yeah.
Eating.
I mean, you don't have to be real old. You can be in your 20s or early 30s, and you're still old enough to remember when people could actually sit around and talk without a cell phone glued to the ear.
And it's very hard
cell
to
phones
tell.
are kind of new in society, basically about a decade, really.
Yeah.
So
Well, it dawned on me. I was talking with a friend of mine this past weekend, and we were headed outdoors to go hang out. And he was talking about something happened at some time, and he was just in college, and he's in his early 40s. Right. And he said, they had to try to find me. They just called the phone of a friend where I was over at his house because we didn't have cell phones. And I thought, wow.
Yeah,
That's odd.
You're you, So
Yeah.
So I don't tolerate that much. In other words, like you see them in restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
People go out as a family to eat. There's 5 members of a family sitting there, 4 of them on the cell phone talking during dinner. You see people eating with one hand, talking with the other, and I'm thinking, what phone call could be that important? What's really that important?
Right. And that mamas had changed because my mama wouldn't tolerate a hat.
Not us either.
Singing. I don't know where that one came from. I said, now, who declared we can't sing? In some reason, there was some rule. Did you have that in your family?
Oh, yeah.
No,
you don't sing at the table.
You don't sing
Yeah.
You go to the table to eat and you talk.
It's because you have to open your mouth.
I can remember being at the supper table and the phone ringing. Of course, you don't have to get up to answer it. My dad wouldn't let us.
Yeah, we do that now.
Yeah.
What do you do? What would he do?
Just give us that look. Remember, there's no voicemail then, no answer machines. Yeah.
No caller ID.
Yeah, hell, they'll call back.
Yeah.
And now you see people where but really, that's what
Yeah.
What's wrong with
But you know what?
and that's the way I still am, Like, my cell phone's in the car. I never take my cell phone. I don't take my cell phone in buildings.
I text
I
one
would never
time
take-
in front of James.
I would never
it
take
was
my-
bad.
Yeah.
Texting, don't get me started on that.
Yeah, he threw it right in
'Cause
the potatoes.
I have a very cool, hard stance on texting.
Right.
Every time I read in the paper, here on the news, where these single car accidents, where they were
Texting, right,
ran
driving.
off the road, hit a tree, and died. I'm so glad they're dead.
James.
I am.
James Gregory.
Can I say
really,
we're off
I'll
to a
tell you why.
blistering pace today?
No, I'll tell you why.
right.
I'll tell you why.
You're
I'm glad-
saying only single car accident.
yeah, because sometimes you cross the median to hit an innocent person.
Yeah, and you're not for that.
No, but see, I tell you why I'm glad they're gone. They're out of my way for one thing. Number two is if these idiots who text and drive,
I don't know why anybody would do that.
if they do that on a regular basis, tomorrow they could cross the line and hit my sister.
Yeah,
Tomorrow they could cross the line and hit my nephew and niece or the people I love.
I agree.
So if they go ahead and die today, I'm okay with that.
Well, that's the reason why I've never understood why we're having to have a law about people texting and driving. How can there be people that think they should text and drive?
Well, they're just idiots. See, that's one thing you can't legislate. You know, it's like we have so many laws in our country now that are what we call feel-good legislation.
Oh, boy.
Like the law that just passed in New York State. I think it takes effect in January, where by law now, McDonald's is required by law to put a piece of fruit or a vegetable in the Happy Meal. That's the law. Well, you know, we're talking about that nationwide.
Oh, here we go.
Well, really, it's by law. That's because you have we have a generation of people now that don't know really how to be parents.
Right.
Like if they want some people want the McDonald's to quit advertising the Happy Meal so much. And here's what I've said: when I have the privilege.
Secretariat is off and running.
Well, no, I'm just saying when I have the privilege
Right.
to speak to or entertain any of these brain dead soccer moms.
Right.
Here's what I tell them. The fast food industry didn't start yesterday.
Right.
It was started in the 1930s by the White Castle and the Crystal Corporation, and then followed a few years later in the early 50s with McDonald's and so on. So fast food's always been around. When we were growing up, and most people who listen to us now, when we were growing up, me and my little brother, we saw a zillion things advertised on television we wanted. Now listen up, soccer moms.
Oh boy, he's getting.
Here's what my mama said to us. No.
Right.
Sometimes she would spell it out. I said no, N-O. Could you see your mama or your daddy saying, every time my little boy sees that commercial, he wants one of them, I'm going to write my congressman. So that's how far we've come down the slope as a country.
Don't you love when the mayor has to tell the kids what time to be home?
I hate curfew laws.
Yeah, because that's just lazy parenting.
Well, it should be parents.
Well, what?
Yeah.
They should be.
Well, they can't. Here's a simple rule. If you don't think you can feed them, support them, and control them, don't have them. Anything wrong with that? Really, anything wrong with that?
15 minutes past.
Rick and Bubba.
You know, James, to me, one of the biggest problems with texting, and we were talking about that last segment, is we used to sit on the porch and tell stories.
Right.
You can't tell a story via text or email.
There's no emotion in it.
Right.
There's no feeling in it. It's just words, you know. And I got this. Of course, I'm kind of computer illiterate anyway, and I'm glad of it. It's not like I want to learn anything.
Why would you even need it?
So I don't even have a GPS, and people tell me all the time, you have to get a GPS. You get one when they're on sale for $179. I said, look, I've been on the road 28 years. Different town every day, different town every week, you know. I don't get lost. I always show up. I got a Ram McNally in the car.
Yeah.
But I think people are just kind of addicted to anything on a video screen.
Oh, you should have seen the time. One of my most disasters, I thought I was going to give my dad, who is your kind of guy, you get my dad a GPS. I thought, man, he'll love this. Yeah. He looked at me, and he's never been that forward about not liking a gift. He said, I don't go anywhere I don't know where it is. I mean, he told me, I don't go anywhere I don't know where it is.
Well,
and he didn't want it.
We know Mr.
He's never used it.
We know Mr. Mengola. I'm working with him this weekend.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Steve.
This week, you know. Yeah. Me and Steve go back to 1987. That's how long we've known each other.
Wow.
All right. I remember, when he bought him a new Chrysler 300 a few years ago, he come up and wanted to show me. I mean, people want to show off the cars. You know what I'm talking about?
Right, right.
He said, take a ride with me. So we exit my subdivision, and he's got the GPS, you know. And I'd never seen one until then. I'd heard about it, but I hadn't, because I don't have any cars that's got it in there. So anyway, so he looked at the screen. He said, look, see, this is where we are right now. I said, yeah, I know. I'm looking out the window. So, you know, all that kind of makes me nervous anyway. But my real hatred is for these Facebook people. You know, I got 5,000.
Get that Bubba while he's on his phone. Look at him.
He's texting
He's
right
not
now.
even listening to you.
I got, you know, these people. I got 3,000 friends on Facebook. You know, so I'm just saying this. I don't want to sound like I'm living in a time that don't exist anymore. which we are basically. Have you noticed that people who don't even have time now, you walk out the back door, you walk across your yard, lean on the fence, talk to your neighbor a few minutes, go down to get your mail out of the mailbox. There's your neighbor walking the dog. You spend a few times talking to your neighbor. Nobody has time for that, but they got time to keep their 5,000 friends on Facebook updated.
Yeah, I mean,
people they'll never
hours,
meet, never know.
Hours.
So I'm just saying I don't get it. I'm not really saying the people that do that are idiots. I'm just saying I don't get it.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I can understand you. Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, well,
going online never works out for me anyway. You see all these things. Well, they don't. Nothing works out for me. Well, you see these little commercials. It makes you tempted. Remember this Ancestry.com?
Oh, yeah. Look up your kinfolk.
I found out that my great-great-grandfather lived next door to Thomas Jefferson, that kind of stuff, Well, then I tried, and I found out that my ancestors were owned by a black family. It just never turns out. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
So I'm kind of leery. I'm kind of leery of all that .com stuff.
But now you do have a web page, right?
Oh yes, I do. And everybody tells me it's great. Every time they
Speedy, pull it up so James can see what it looks like.
Every time they rebuild the website, go. See, the lady that runs my office, she's got a computer and everything, so I have to. She's got a computer. My manager Lenny, Lenny.
Oh yeah,
we met Lenny.
And he'll say to me, he said, "Well, you get a chance, go by the office and have Susan pull up so and so," because he knows there's nothing high tech at my house. He knows that.
Right.
So I got to go to the office, have her click on something so I can see.
Yeah, and it's exciting.
But it's worked out well for me. I'm not encumbered by this.
Well, I don't, honestly, but the way you make a living, and as long as somebody does have a website that they take care of for you and keeps it updated and where you're going to be, because a lot of people find out and buy tickets.
That's good.
And buy tickets that way and buy your stuff.
Oh, sure.
As long as somebody's handling that, and you're going from town to town doing your act, really, why do you need it?
Yeah. See, I don't need to travel with it.
Right.
Everybody I know travels with a laptop.
Yeah. Now Keith Aberstadt said he didn't understand that. The other guy that you work with.
Yeah, Keith is strange.
Yeah,
bless his heart. He's one of the Vanderbilt people.
Right. Yeah.
I got all of my guys analyzed. I say my guys, these guys that I work with. There's only 3 of them now.
I was about to say you only have 3 guys.
And I'm looking for replacements because Keith is semi-retired in New York. Vinny is semi-retired, out in California, and then Steve's got a wife, 2 daughters, and a dog. He has to have time off occasionally.
Oh yeah.
So I'm kind of. I think I'm just going to start picking up hitchhikers and say, "Can you be funny for 20 minutes?" But here's how I got them all analyzed, and I told Steve this. Steve is like being on the road with somebody who's just. He's like a college kid who's just glad to be away from his roommate and out of the dorm for the weekend.
Right. That's Steve Mingo.
Right.
Yeah.
Now Vinny is still in like high school. It's all of him is a field trip.
Right.
Wow, let's go.
Right, let's go. Let's fire up.
Where we gonna eat?
Right, yeah.
And Keith, depending on what day it is, it seems like being on the phone with a little girl or an old lady. He's always cold, wants to mess with the air conditioning.
Oh no.
Yeah.
But you love that.
Yeah, he drives with both hands on the steering wheel. He won't speed. Really, he just won't speed.
Right.
And he's running around with all these little mini bottles of this hand sanitizer stuff, and sipping on that bottled water all damn day. And just, so next time
does he sip on it?
How's he do it?
How's he do it?
Sip, they all sip on it.
Yeah, how they sip it?
Sip.
Let me get a knock of it here.
Yeah. So this time I go out and hunt a comedian, I'm gonna put grown man.
Right.
Well,
where are you gonna find one of those now?
They're out there. Grown man who knows how to eat.
Right, and can be funny for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I've already got a job, but I'd be weak.
Yeah, I bet you would. I bet you'd be good at it.
I guarantee you, I'd give you.
But now,
I know I could do it.
Now the
Rick
reason
says that's all I'm good for a day is about 20 minutes.
now the
Great job. Rick and Bubba.